the gathering of hatred. The twin suns of Zorith Prime bathed the crystalline amphitheater in golden light as delegates from across the galaxy arrived for what would become one of the most infamous gatherings in known history. The Galactic Council, an ancient alliance of 18 dominant species, had convened with one shared purpose: the eradication of the human race. For centuries, the elder species had ruled uncontested, their civilizations spanning star systems, their histories stretching back millions of years. Then came the humans, violent, unpredictable, stubborn beyond reason. In just a few centuries, humanity had risen from primitive world wars to interstellar expansion. They colonized dangerous planets, survived where others failed, and, most frighteningly, they refused to bow. Today, that defiance would be addressed. The amphitheater's smooth crystal walls shimmered with embedded lights as hundreds of alien representatives filled the tiers. Massive reptilian creth lumbered into position, their scaled hides glistening. Feathered Shather priests floated on anti-gravity thrones. Slender insectoid Zenta chittered nervously in the cold air. Each species carried memories of human defiance, military upsets, lost battles, or economic humiliation. At the heart of this gathering sat the council chair, a grotesque being of pulsating violet flesh, known only as Pre-March Vyrzeth. With a gurgling hum, Vyrzeth called the assembly to order. Today, the Primarch's voice echoed. We eliminate the human infection. We must act now, or risk annihilation at the hands of these violent primates. Thunderous applause followed. But amid the sea of alien faces, one figure sat still, quiet, and unnoticed in row 3. Her name was Commander Elena Voss. Disguised as an Ixari, a species of mild-mannered merchants known for their hunched forms and gray skin, Elena observed everything through augmented lenses and a neural uplink. She had spent 9 months embedded within council space, enduring endless surgeries and implants to pass every biometric scan. And now, she sat at the heart of the enemy's lair. Her mission was simple in theory: gather intelligence, confirm the rumors of a genocide plan against humanity, and relay the data back to Earth Strategic Command. In practice, it was suicide. Elena's gloved hands rested calmly in her lap as alien leaders took turns speaking, their languages auto-translated through her implants. Each delegate, in turn, detailed their grievances against humanity. The Kreth admiral snarled. They spread like vermin across the frontier worlds. We lost 2 Kreth colonies to human interference in a single decade. The Shather High Oracle hissed. They desecrate sacred grounds without permission, without reverence. Their souls are hollow. A hologram flared to life above the assembly, displaying Earth's territories in glowing red. Dots marked the human colonies, each one a target in the coming storm. Elena's breathing slowed. Her training kicked in, suppressing every instinct to react. She recorded everything: operation code names, planetary targets, fleet numbers. But more disturbing than the logistics was the sheer hatred in the room. It wasn't politics or greed that fueled this. It was fear. The oldest species in the galaxy were afraid of humans. Her mind flickered back to her childhood, orphaned during the Second Martian conflict. A war sparked when an alien mining conglomerate tried to seize Mars. Earth had fought back, viciously and without mercy. The lesson had been clear. Humans didn't yield. The plan was given a name: Operation Extinguish. In less than 48 Earth hours, a multi-pronged assault would descend upon Earth's home system, wiping out human settlements, shipyards, and governments in one swift blow. Elena's heart pounded. She needed to send the transmission. But as she adjusted her seating, a chill ran down her spine. Across the chamber, a pair of Kreth mind-seers, psionic entities known for their ability to sense deception, tilted their reptilian heads in her direction. One of them hissed softly, eyes narrowing. They're sensing something. Without breaking her composed exterior, Elena engaged her neural countermeasures, bioelectrodampeners meant to scramble telepathic scans. But she knew it was a matter of time before they grew suspicious. The council chair continued. We move swiftly, without mercy. The time for debate is over. Humanity must be erased before their fire consumes us all. As the amphitheater erupted in grim agreement, Elena's fingers flexed subtly beneath her robes. She needed an exit. She needed a plan. Because if she failed, Earth would burn. The human among monsters. Commander Elena Voss kept her breathing steady as the weight of 100 alien eyes pressed down on the amphitheater. Her implants worked overtime, capturing every word, every image, every whispered aside of the Galactic Council's plan to exterminate her species. And yet, something was wrong. The Kreth mind-seers in the upper tier kept glancing in her direction, their black serpentine eyes narrowing, heads tilting unnaturally. Her bioelectrodampeners were active, designed to distort psychic readings, but she could feel the prickle of suspicion growing. She couldn't panic. She couldn't rush. With practiced calm, Elena shifted her gloved fingers beneath her loose sleeves, discreetly activating a stealth uplink embedded in her wrist. Her eyes remained fixed on the center of the Grand Hall as a holographic projection of Earth and its colonies glowed blood red above the counselors. The council chair, Premarch VYRZ, raised a fleshy tendril. Our timeline is aggressive because it must be. Humans adapt too quickly. We will hit them simultaneously across all fronts. Their homeworld, their outer colonies, their shipyards. There will be no survivors. The council murmured in agreement. Some, like the Shather theocracy, called for swift destruction by orbital plasma bombardment. Others, like the Zenta Collective, proposed a slower death, unleashing a self-replicating nanite plague that would dissolve flesh and metal alike. Elena's neural HUD captured it all. The plan, codenamed Operation Extinguish, was to commence in 48 hours. 48 hours, she thought grimly. That's all we have. But data alone wasn't enough. She had to get out, transmit it across the planetary comm barriers before the Council's AI locked down external networks. Any mistake could expose her. A soft chime in her ear. Her internal AI, nicknamed Ghost, whispered, "Data packet complete. Transmission window, 15 minutes. Risk level, escalating." Elena allowed herself a small breath of relief. But then her gaze locked onto a rising tension in the room. Two alien factions, the insectoid Zentu and the amphibious Drawl Enclave, were exchanging sharp words. Even among this coalition of hatred, old rivalries were simmering. The Zentu accused the Drawl of planning to monopolize human technology after the extermination. The Drawl accused the Zentu of sabotage in prior council wars. What began as whispered remarks now rose to snarls and heated gestures. Elena's lips twitched into a barely noticeable smile. She knew this game. Division. Suspicion. It was the oldest human tactic in the book. Never give the enemy a single face to hate. Make them turn on each other. She tapped lightly on her thigh implant, sending coded signals to her ghost AI. A subtle digital nudge slipped into the Council's local communication networks. Anonymous messages, falsified logs, hints of treachery planted with precision. Within minutes, the first physical scuffle broke out. A Zenta envoy was struck by a Drawl warrior's bioplasma gauntlet. Security drones swarmed, but the damage was done. The once unified council was beginning to crack. Elena seized the moment. While eyes were distracted, she moved her hand beneath her robes, pulling free a slim quantum burst transmitter the size of a coin. She slid it beneath her seat, locking it to the crystal floor. Her implants pulsed. Signal strength, 87%. Uplink target, Earth Strategic Command. Begin transmission, she murmured silently. But even as the data burst began, she felt it, an icy shiver along her spine. The Kreth Mindseer. It had moved. It was now just 5 rows behind her. Her cover was slipping. Sweat beaded at the nape of her neck despite her training. She resisted the urge to turn. Her hand slowly moved toward the neural disruptor concealed beneath her belt. In the distance, the Council's chair bellowed over the chaos. "Control yourselves. The humans are the enemy." But the words felt hollow. Fear and ancient rivalries had been reignited. Trust had already started to fracture. The Kretha's breath was on her neck. Elena made her choice. In one fluid motion, she activated the disruptor pulse, a silent wave of neural interference that shattered psychic focus in a 10-meter radius. The mind seer stumbled back, dazed, clutching its scaled head. Gasps rippled through the amphitheater. No one knew what had happened. Elena remained perfectly still, her heartbeat steady as the signal from her transmitter blinked green. Data sent. Earth warned. But her extraction window had just closed. Now, she was trapped in the belly of the beast, the spark of chaos. Commander Elena Voss didn't dare move as the Kreth mindseer reeled, its claws clutching at its skull. The neural disruptor had bought her precious seconds, but she knew it was only a matter of time before the mindseers recovered. And when they did, her cover would be blown. Her transmitter blinked softly beneath her seat. The message, every detail of Operation Extinguish, had been sent to Earth's Strategic Command. Humanity now knew what was coming. But survival was no longer about extraction. The window had closed. Now it was about doing as much damage as possible before she was caught. Across the amphitheater, the council was in disarray. The earlier skirmish between the Zinta Collective and the Drawl Enclave had escalated. Accusations flew like laser bolts. "This was your plan all along," shrieked the Drawl ambassador, his bulbous eyes bulging in fury. "You intend to use the attack on the humans to seize our territories." The Zinta emissary's mandibles clicked furiously. "Lies. We should have exterminated your kind along with the humans." Security drones zipped overhead, tried to restore order, but it was crumbling fast. Elena saw the perfect opportunity. Conflict was a wildfire. She just needed to feed the flames. Her fingers worked quickly beneath her robes, accessing her internal ghost AI. She sent forged messages across the Council's local network, encrypted pings designed to look like intercepted plans of betrayal between factions, false evidence of secret weapons, hidden alliances, and broken treaties. Her implants flashed. Deception protocols, active. Viral misinformation, deployed. Almost immediately, the amphitheater descended further into chaos. A Zinta soldier lunged at a Drawl diplomat. A Shather priest called for blood vengeance. Plasma weapons were drawn. The unity of hatred that had brought them together unraveled in mere minutes. Elena's pulse steadied. Divide and conquer. Let them burn themselves. But her moment of triumph was short-lived. The council chair, Pre-March Vuarzeth, slammed down a massive tendril, generating a shockwave that rocked the chamber. "Enough," it bellowed, its grotesque face warping with rage. "We are on the verge of galactic victory. Do not let your petty grudges cost us this moment." Yet even Vuarzeth couldn't fully quell the distrust, now spreading like a virus. In the shadows of Row 3, Elena's ghost AI alerted her. Council comlinks, locked. Planetary defense AI, secured. Transmission window, closed. Her exit was sealed. Extraction ships would never reach her through the Council's defensive grid. Even her suicide implant, designed to erase her biological signature, was unlikely to succeed under the heavy security. She was stranded, alone, hunted. Her fingers trembled only briefly before her iron discipline took over. If she couldn't escape, she would make sure no one escaped. Humanity had been targeted for extinction. She would return the favor in kind. Her mind worked fast. The Council's central AI system, responsible for security, communication, and strategic command, was vulnerable. Its protocols were ancient, unchanged for centuries. It wasn't built to defend against the chaotic, unpredictable nature of human cyber warfare. Her ghost AI whispered, "Access to central AI possible. Risk, critical. Probability of survival, 4%. Elena smiled faintly. 4% was better than none. She moved swiftly but carefully, rising from her seat under the cover of the confusion. The Mind Seers were still recovering. Most attention was focused on the brawling factions. She crossed the marble walkway toward the central control node, a glowing spire of crystal and metal, her neural interface already primed. As her fingertips touched the node, the AI recognized an authorized signal, thanks to the falsified credentials she'd embedded in her Ixery identity months before. Data streams flowed. Her ghost AI injected the logic virus, a self-replicating malware designed not to destroy, but to corrupt. It altered priority systems, inserted false threat alerts, and triggered emergency fail-safes across multiple council factions. In minutes, each species' home defense systems would receive fake warnings of betrayal by their so-called allies. Paranoia would spread faster than any fleet. Alarms blared. Red warning lights flashed across the hall. Elena turned just as a Kreth security unit spotted her. The first plasma shot scorched the floor near her feet. She ducked behind a pillar as chaos erupted. But it was too late for them. The spark was lit. Back on Earth, humanity would soon be preparing. Here, in the heart of their enemies, the seeds of discord had blossomed into open warfare. Her mission was no longer about survival. It was about victory, the human solution. Plasma blasts ripped through the air as Commander Elena Voss sprinted through the crumbling amphitheater, her heart pounding, her breath sharp and ragged. The once mighty Galactic Council, the coalition that had ruled over hundreds of worlds for millennia, was tearing itself apart. The logic virus she had planted inside the Council's central AI was working faster than even she had hoped. False alarms, fabricated enemy fleet sightings, and simulated betrayal warnings now flooded the systems of every attending species. Automated defenses back on their homeworlds were already shifting into high alert, some even launching preemptive strikes against their supposed allies. In the center of the amphitheater, alien delegates screamed in confusion and fury. Plasma weapons fired indiscriminately. The Zinto ambassador was reduced to ash by a Drawl war commander's energy cannon. Shather priests unleashed psionic blasts, leveling entire rows of seats. The chaos Elena had ignited could not be contained, and through it all, she moved like a shadow. Her body ached from exertion, her vision blurred slightly from neural strain, but she pressed forward. Her mission was done. Earth had been warned. The Council had been shattered. Now she had to survive. "Ghost," she whispered between breaths. "Any extraction options?" Her AI replied in a calm monotone. "All planetary defense grids remain active. No atmospheric escape possible. One hostile craft in hangar bay unguarded. Probability of survival, 11%. Elena's lips twitched in grim amusement. 11%. Better odds than the last time. She adjusted course, sprinting down a smoking corridor as explosions rocked the building. Behind her, a Kreth soldier gave chase, roaring in fury. She ducked behind shattered walls, fired her compact pulse pistol, and sent the alien sprawling lifeless to the ground. No time to think. Move. Survive. The amphitheater was collapsing into a full-scale battle. Elena reached the hangar bay, its blast doors hanging partially open from structural damage. Inside, a Shather corvette, sleek, insect-like, and fully functional, sat idle. Most crews had abandoned their posts in the confusion. She vaulted up the boarding ramp, slamming the hatch shut behind her, hands flying over alien controls. Her implants translated symbols and bypassed security protocols. The ship hummed to life. Outside, a deafening boom shook the ground. Through the cockpit glass, she saw the Council spire, the center of galactic power, engulfed in flames. The factions had finally turned on each other, centuries of mistrust boiling over in minutes. She spoke softly, more to herself than to the ship. They wanted extinction. Now they get it. The engines roared. The Corvette lifted off, rising through the smoke and debris. Automated turrets on the planetary ring attempted to target her, but the virus she'd unleashed had blinded them to friend and foe alike. She punched through the atmosphere, leaving Zorith Prime burning in her wake. In orbit, fragments of destroyed ships floated aimlessly. Some alien vessels, already panicked by false emergency signals, were firing on one another. What had been the greatest political unity in galactic history was now a battlefield of paranoia and destruction. Elena's face was pale, Blood streaked across her temple, but her eyes were sharp with cold purpose. "Ghost," she murmured. "Open long-range channel to Earth Command. Secure line." A soft chime confirmed the connection. Static filled her ears before the voice of Admiral Leong came through, calm but urgent. "Commander Voss, we received your data packet. Preemptive strikes are already in motion. The first wave of enemy fleets never left their systems. You've given us time." Elena allowed herself a breath. "The Council's imploding, sir. They'll be too busy fighting each other to coordinate any retaliation. We won't just survive this. We'll win." A pause. Then the Admiral's voice, warm with something rarely spoken in military channels, pride. "Understood, Commander. Come home. Earth is waiting." The call cut off. The stars stretched before her as the Corvette's engines burned bright. Behind her, the galactic order crumbled. Before her, humanity's future blazed with dangerous, limitless potential. For centuries, the elder species had ruled, certain of their superiority, certain that humans were nothing more than wild animals to be tamed or destroyed. But they had forgotten one thing. Humans adapt. Humans endure. And when pushed to the edge, humans fight back harder than anyone could imagine. As Zorth Prime burned behind her, Elena Voss smiled faintly. They held a conference on killing humans and never saw the human sitting in row 3.